Okay, we are live at our realestateinvestingzoom.com. This is the official podcast of the LA County Real Estate Investors Association in Los Angeles, Lloyd Siegel's group. We meet live, by the way, every Thursday, second Thursday of the month, and that's upcoming in 2 days on August 10th in the Culver City area on Motor, just south of the 10 freeway, north of National. And just a quick kind of run through. This is the organization. LAREIC is the website, and you'll see on there the details. We get about 250 people to the presentation. This is actually the speaker who's going to be speaking this week, Seth Phillips, on ADUs, how to make money by adding additional units as a flipper, wholesaler, investor, and as a homeowner. And then in addition to that, there'll be a vendors. I missed the spot there. There'll be vendors on one of them, about 50 vendors there, professionals who help you with your business as an investor or professional real estate agent. It's free, and the event is, this is wrong. Where am I at? Sorry, a little slow today. There we go. 6:30 is what we say is the official start time. There's a vendor fair and the speaker. Parking's free if you get there early enough. The event's free. Great material. I think it's the best event of the month. It's the only one I go to really is that I don't host here in Los Angeles area. So I hope to see you there. I'm the official podcaster of that event. And so hope to see you there. Let's see. And I am still missing, unfortunately. I asked somebody to be on the call. I don't see them yet, but we will just move forward without them. So, okay. So our topic today is off-market properties. Now, this is designed for both brand new and experienced. If you're brand new, the challenge you always have is, well, how do I get a deal? And the mistake I find new investors and wholesalers make is they want to create their Rolodex of buyers. And I don't know who tells them to do that first, because the reality is, as I coach agents all the time, if you have a deal, there's always money for it if it's a deal. Always. Never been more true than right now in this market we're in. There's more cash looking to be there. There's loans looking to be had for good deals, but it has to be a good deal. And you have to know the distinction. And that's where that coaching comes in, finding that deal and knowing it's a good deal, and then how do you present it? That's the challenge. For experienced agents, wholesalers, investors, what do you do with them? You're always looking for a good outlet. And I'm going to show you today a couple different strategies and outlets. I invited one to be on. Hopefully he'll join us, but I'm going to walk through their presentation real fast, and then we'll take it from there. Now, if you're watching this live on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn, I see people right now on all of them, feel free to put comments in the comment section. I will be able to respond to them. I'll watch them going out live. Put in there if you're an investor or a realtor, and what city or state you're doing business in. So if you're a realtor, put California realtor or Los Angeles realtor. And if you're an investor, put investor in whatever city or state you're doing business in. Also, feel free to put on your contact info. Real estate is a contact sport. The more people you know, the more money you make. So feel free to put your information in. If you're watching YouTube or LinkedIn, you will not get your comments pulled off or moderated. I'm in charge of that. I can tell you my goal here is for all of us to meet each other and help each other. Okay, so what do you do when you have a deal? We're going to talk today a little bit. One of them is you want to find an investor that can help you, but the question is, how do you find them the deal? Well, one of the methodologies I use on my link tree, if you go to linktr.ee/Bill Gross, that's my link tree, linktr.ee/my name, Bill Gross. I have a link tree. You can click the first link on top here, multiple cash offers for your property. Now, if you don't have that, text me, email me, more glad to send you the link. That brings you to this program, which is called eXp's Express Offers Program. Now, I'm with eXp Realty. We're the nation's largest independent real estate company, one office across the country, 88,000 agents. And this is a program we created to offer to our agents and to our customers iBuyer services similar to offer pads and open house, and Zillow had one. The difference is here that we're not making the market as the investor. We're not trying to take your money and put it in our pocket. What we're doing is we're going to take the property, if you're representing the seller with the property, and buyers and put them together. We're market makers, we're agents. That's what we do as a business. And so if you have a property that you want to get offers on, particularly if they're off market, and I'll go through what that means, you can come here and put information in, and we'll approach you with it. Now, if you're an agent with eXp, This is why you get EXP Offer Certified, so you can use this program. If you're not an agent with EXP, let's talk. It's just a tool I can help you use to help you build your business. Once you get in here as an agent, you get the lead, you call the seller and say, hey, I see that you have a property that's off market. I'd like to meet with you. And then you talk about the property and the condition, and then the next step is to go out and see it. So I'm going to show you, this is what we call a property condition report. As an agent, my next step is me or my team member to go out and fill this out. And it has basic information on top. Then these are required photographs. And then this is general property information. Now here's the thing, if you're new to this, if you fill out this form and take these photos, you have all the information an informed investor needs short of walking the property quickly. Meaning if your report is accurate and complete, they're going to walk through and verify this information. But you can get an offer and that offer will stand up. And so I think for brand new agents, oftentimes I get a phone call, I have a deal. Well, what is it? I can't tell you. I can't help you. You have to work with people you trust. But if you're working with people you trust and you have this form filled out, I can get you an offer in an hour or two, almost every single time. Certainly in 24 hours. We say 24 hours because it gives us time, but in reality, I just need 1 or 2 offers of work time to get that done because I can put it into our system and I have multiple investors and my Rolodex of investors who would fill this out. So if you're a new agent or you're an agent struggling, how do I bring properties to investors effectively? This is a tool that would help you. Just this report form, this blank, might be of interest to you. Now, if you know me and you want to copy the report, text or email me. I'd be glad to. If I know who you are, your name and address and your name and phone and email, I'd be glad to send it to you. Now, we have it in this format. I have it in electronic format so that you can, once you get it, start filling it electronically rather than having to print it out and write out the form or text it or something like that. Glad to do that with you. Now, when you look at the Express Offers program, I just want to kind of walk through the program with you. Okay, so in addition to, if you're an agent or investor, this is not for the homeowner, this is for professionals looking to generate business. This is a lead generation program as well. We're going to give you free the certification, the platform access. There's a networking component to this. And it's a conversation starter tool, meaning we'll give you some posts you can put on your social media. Lead generation playbook, which is some social media strategies and marketing materials, all free you're going to get as part of it. Now, Express Offers is our company's proprietary program, meaning we developed it. We're not buying the property, so we're not cheating any sellers or agents of money, and we're not selling the property. Now, what can happen is sometimes the investor offering will say, you know what, I'll buy the property, and if you're an agent offering it to me, I'll list it back through you. Some do, some don't. So that's another opportunity for agents to generate some investors as well. But it's created by our company for our agents for us to present to our clients. And so if you don't know about it, there's a couple components. There's a certification, and then from there, you get the lead generation and the marketing package. What do those look like? Well, there's a lead gen playbook. There's a whole series of steps to take you through to build your business. And there's a social media manager that will take you through post material for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the different sources of information to help you. And includes strategy, marketing content, video tutorials, what to do, how to do it. And really within 10 to 20 minutes, you should start generating some leads if you already have a database. Now, if you're brand new, you don't know anybody, you can't create material without getting an audience. You might have to pay for some ads or put it in, or join some groups that give you some leverage, but you gotta get your material in front of somebody. And so these are the examples they have: Express Offers in your listing presentation, letterhead, other print materials, social media posts, email signature link. A lot of agents have that. I like that a lot. If you're a KV Core, there's a link to your homepage, email templates, and listing materials. So again, social media manager is part of the program, recorded classes. Then additionally, you get your unique offers, expressoffers.com URL. So I have one, gosh, what is it? It's billgross.expressoffers.com. Is that it? I think it is. That's funny, I remember mine. No, I don't remember mine is. I use the link instead. But you can get your own URL, so go automatically. That's how I use the link directly to my page. So those are my leads when they come in. Marketing Center, networking videos. I think we talked about that. Here's how you, there you go. expressoffers.com/exp/Bill-Gross. That's my unique URL. If you click on that, that takes you to my page. And what's nice is then any leads entered there are my leads. Or if you sign up and you finish the program, all those leads become yours. So this is only for XP agents. There's other programs with other companies, but this is one that we've created. And you're not exclusive. You can join the XP's program, and if you're an XP agent, still work with OfferPads or some of the other iBuyer programs. This is just one that gives you, I think, more credibility to solicit leads. Like if you're used to sending your deals to companies like, I'll show you Griffin Residential, or like Sunday or Fairtrade or some of these other companies, this is just one more tool in that toolbox to get people's attention. And again, the URL you create on your own, and next thing you know, you're up and running. You post it everywhere, and you get leads from it. And networking we have within our group. And this is different suggestions on how to generate the business. Obviously, I work in probate. This is a great tool if you're working with probate attorneys, because many of them want cash offers on their property. We actually give you scripts and a script book if you're so inclined to learn those specifically and how to be better as a salesperson. There's training. There's regular programs in our website. And if you have any other ideas, we're going to ask you to submit them, and we're going to run with them because it's our company. So that's the presentation. I'd be glad to go through with you more detail or send you a link to it if you're interested. What happens is at the end, you're given a couple options, and you show the customer what the option is if they get a cash offer through Express Offers, or if you want to list the property, what the options are, and you give them a spreadsheet that shows them their net at the end of the day for those different options. So oftentimes I'll say to a customer, look, I can take your property and here's an iBuyer offer, $600,000. I can put it on the market, take about 30 days, and we'll have to negotiate and deal with inspections and all that. And then another 30 days to close, so 60 days from now, perhaps, and we'll get 630, 640, 650. You can do these things to the property. You could clean it out, junk it out, clean it up, spruce it up, spend some money to get a little bit more if that's what you want to do. I can give them options, and this becomes one tool in the toolbox. So again, if you're interested in any of my links, link tr.ee/Bill-Gross is my Linktree address if you want to get a hold of me, or text or email me. My contact info is down below. I'd be glad to send you that information. And then you can offer this. Now, if you have properties off market and you want to get cash offers on, bring them to me, and I can show them to a couple different opportunities. One, local investors I work with, and then there's the Express Offers program. And then additionally, today I wanted to introduce a company that I've been doing business with. I'm really excited to present. They're new to our Express Offers program. So if you are an XP agent, you might want to look for their buy box as Griffin Residential. They also go by SoCal Residential Homes LLC. And this is a company that buys property, and again, this is their buy box. So this is where they're asking us to send them deals as EXP, up to $2 million in LA, Orange, Riverside, and San Bernardino counties. They'll buy anything from a single-family condo, townhome, or duplex. Some investors are more particular, 1-2 condos, they will. They have no restrictions on the size of the property, which is unique, or the construction materials, or the lot size. Some investors won't take certain types of properties. And they'll go anywhere from light renovation to full renovation. And I think that the only one off market, they don't relist with the agent. So if you're going to make your money going into the deal, not on the back end. And I think one of the things that's unique about them is they'll take properties with difficult tenant situations, particularly if you have a squatter, or you have an heir who doesn't want to move out, or the friend of the decedent who says he's able to live there forever. Now, I help customers with those problems. This is one of the investors I take those deals to because they're comfortable doing that. They bid regularly in LA County Probate Court. They're comfortable with that. And so that's kind of my in with them was they're probate investors, which means they're taking some hairy deals. Every investor will take the easy ones. They'll all take them with the high margins. You're looking for the company that's going to work with you when you need some help. Okay, I've done a lot of talking so far. So if you're watching this, this is meant to be live. We want to do 3 things. We want to network, we want to educate, and we want to find mentorship. So networking, share your information. Mentorship, I'm here to help you, or we help each other. And education, hopefully I give you a little bit today. There's more if you're interested. reach out. I can give you a little more detailed presentation on the Express Offers program. But I think it's a great tool, particularly for the new wholesale investor. It's a tool you can add to your toolbox. If you have an off-market property and you want to get offers, you can bring it to me. Or if you're an agent, I can show you how to use this program to generate that business on a regular basis. And if you're an agent who wants to be an investor, what a nice way to generate leads. You prospect for off-market properties as an agent, use the Express Offers program. As long as you disclose to your customer and say, hey, to be honest, I might buy this property. You don't have to submit it to Express Offers just because you marketed to it. It's just a tool in your toolbox, and we're going to give you those that information. Janika Williams asks, what's the contact info for SoCal residential properties? So I don't have a particular, they go by Griffin Residential, and here's their website. But if you're looking to submit a property to them, if you're an EXP agent, their buy box is already in Express Offers. So you don't need to find them. They're already set up, approved, they have a line of credit, and they're vetted and contracted with us for that program. If you're not, I don't know what process they have to approve you to submit properties. I imagine they look at properties in the MLS, so I imagine if you have something, they would be interested, but I don't know the process. But check out their website, and hopefully that will help you find them. Or if you want to reach out to me individually, if you have something in particular, I can help you, Janika, and see if I can help you find the right answer for that. Good question, though. Thank you for paying attention and being the question of the day. Okay, other questions, other challenges, other issues. Who here has a question, is trying to do a off-market property and is having some challenge? Anybody? Oh, look at that. He's asking about, I think he misunderstood how he gets on here. I did have a guest lined up from Griffin, but I think somehow the information didn't get to him properly. So we'll have to maybe catch him next time. Let me just see real quick if I could reach out to him. Okay. Other questions, challenges? Who has an off-market property or a question regarding how to get an off-market property purchased? Again, I believe that the number one thing, if you're new, when to get started or to expand your business, is find deals. Finding a property where somebody has to sell it, and then your job is to get in the middle and make some money on it, either as a wholesaler or as a flipper or as an investor or as an agent. And so I'm not really going to get into now how to find those deals. There's a number of ways to do that, probate being one that I use. But what happens when you find the deals? What do you do with them? That's where the money is. And the mistake, I think too many people spend time developing a Rolodex of investors who are never going to buy anything. I just find when I go to networking events and meet investors, I've learned how to vet them. Because 90% of the ones that I meet never end up buying anything. I talk to them years later. The ones that come up to me and they have a track record and I can ask them some questions and they share with me who they are and what they're doing, that 1 in 10, 1 in 20, they're real investors. That's how I met Isaias and Griffin Residential, because they called me up like a lot do and I asked them a few questions, and rather than fold like a house of cards, he showed me the goods and they're legit. And if I'm going to send somebody my client's property to bid on, if I'm going to send them my commission check to consider buying, then it has to be worthwhile. It has to be somebody who's legitimate. Otherwise, I'm going to waste my time and my client's time, and that's just not an option for me. So, okay, I see that I missed Isaiah. So questions on the eBuyer program, iBuyer program in general, or Express Offers program? Anybody on this call? If you're watching again live on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, feel free to jump in with the questions that you have. Oh, there he is. Hold on a second. So speaking of Griffin Residential, I'm really excited to have join our call Isaias Boesi. Isaias, what's up, man?
Hey, Bill, how's it going?
Good. I kind of ran through a little bit about your company and the iBuyer program.
Right.
So give us a quick Mirror 2 overview. Obviously, you could work for any real estate investor company, in the area. Why are you at Griffin Residential? What do they bring to the marketplace that you find helps customers?
Yeah, well, we're one of the biggest investors here in Southern California. The experience that they bring to the real estate market is unlike any other investors out there. Not only because they've done over 4,000 flips, but because they have the systems in place and they have all the right team members in place where everything just kind of falls back into place together perfectly so that we know what our budgets are, we know how to run comps, we know what deals to buy, and because we have that team in place, we're able to do it at a big scale, which for most investors, when you're flipping and you're trying to flip 10 homes a month, you got to have a big business, and there's very few out there that do the same that we do.
So before you got on, I talked a little bit about, I'll give an overview of our Express Offers program, a little overview of what you guys do. One of the things I know you guys do is you're willing to look at properties where there is you're not going to get the property vacant. You're going to get the property with a tenant or a holdover heir or some family member of the deceased.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that and what you're willing to take and what you're not willing to take.
Yeah. So just to give you a little bit of a background story, we used to buy properties at the courthouse steps back in 2008, 2010. And we were at our highest point, we were buying about 60 homes a month. Wow. And of course, because you were buying it at the courthouse steps, you were getting all these properties with the squatters and the tenants and the occupants in place, right? So because of that and that experience that we had back then, we were able to build the systems and we have the team in place to be able to evict these people or work out the cash for keys agreement. So that's something that we bring to the marketplace that most investors don't, that we're able to take these properties with the tenants in place and do the evictions and work out the cash for keys ourselves, right? So one of the things that we do is we love these probate properties that require court confirmation because the escrow process is so long that we actually have the time to go in and work out the whole agreement even before we close escrow. We're still non-contingent and we're still going to buy the property no matter what. But we have that time in escrow, the 2-3 months that we have to be able to negotiate the cash for keys agreement. So, it ends up, of course, we always have to buy a good deal. So it's not that we're just going to buy at the numbers that we would usually buy on a vacant property. So we still need to get it at a pretty big discount in order for it to work for ourselves. And we try not to load all our acquisitions with occupied properties. We try to balance it out to where, like, if we already have 2 to 3 or 4 acquisitions with tenants in place, we're not going to go and buy another occupied property. So we try to balance them out and balance our portfolio so that we're not just flooded with tenant issues all the time, right? But at any given point, we always have 2 to 3 going on.
One of the things I ran through your buy box within Express Offers. So anybody's watching who is an EXP agent who's Express Offers approved, they can submit properties to you through Express Offers if they want to. I have an agent, I don't know if she is or is not, but do you have agents who submit properties to you directly? And if so, how would they do that? Is that something that you consider? And I know you guys called me about a particular listing I had, but if an agent has a property that's off market or an investor, is there a way that you evaluate properties that they should be aware of?
Well, I get that question all the time, and people wanting to kind of know how we evaluate property so that they can run the numbers themselves before they send the deal to us. But what I like to say is, if you have a deal and you think it's a deal, it doesn't matter what the numbers are, just send it to me and I'll run it and I'll give you the feedback. I'll tell you what we need to buy it for. I tell you what other investors might buy it for, and I'll even tell you what you might be able to get on the market. Because a lot of times what happens when I start explaining our whole underwriting model, which is a pretty complex underwriting model, we have a whole spreadsheet with all our costs in it, and it's pretty detailed. When I start explaining all of that, a lot of wholesalers, a lot of agents, when they're bringing us deals, they'll just prefer not to send it because they might think it's not a deal when it might end up being a deal for us. You never know. Right. But I mean, at the end of the day, I always like to say that our numbers usually fall between the 65 to 70% of ARV. But that always, of course, depends on the rehab value, the areas. Um, if it's a high-end property, we of course need a bigger return. So it's really deal specific. So I don't like to just say that we buy at 70% ARV every time, because it's not true, right? So it just depends.
Well, and I think the investors who say they buy a higher ARV, 75 or 80, they'll do that when they have to just clean it out and resell it. You guys are willing to do a little more rehab and work, I think, than the average investor that I've worked with.
Yeah, so we're mainly a production line company, if you will. Um, one thing that I always like to say to the agents is that we don't like working with the city most of the time. So we try to just work with whatever we have on the property. We don't add any square footage. We don't do developments. We don't go and do ADUs. So we like to work with what we have on the property. We'll take on a big project, no problem. We'll do big rehabs, but we're not going to go and add a square footage or add a bedroom and a bath outside of the square footage that we already have. And also, we prefer not to deal with those bigger foundation issues. When it's on a raised foundation and it's an old house or some settling on it, we don't really mind too much. But if it's something that's going to require an extensive foundation work, where we're going to have to go through the city to pull the permits and do all that, we'd rather just go and buy another property where we're going to go in and out quicker, because that gives us the ability to go and buy more projects and have more projects in our pipeline, which then keeps everybody busy around here in the office, because we have multiple crews, we have multiple people in the office that all need to be busy, right? And we need to pay the bills. So the more properties that we buy, the better for us. So we need to make sure that those properties that we're buying, we're not holding on to them for very long, because that also kills our business model, and we're just paying a lot of money in holding costs when we can just be turning them quicker, right? So we prefer the production line method rather than just doing 3 high-end projects a month, right? We prefer to do 10 lower end a month.
And you only work LA, Orange, San Bernardino, Riverside counties at this time.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
We actually have a project in Westlake Village, which is a little bit outside of our area. But it was such a good deal that we had to buy it. So yeah, if it's something a little bit outside of our area, I would say Ventura County, Simi Valley, San Diego. It's not like we'll go there, but if it's a deal that we can't just pass on, we'll try to make a way to make it work. But yeah, our 95% of our deals are in LA. We do Orange County, and we do San Bernardino and Riverside. Our office is here in Corona, so we do flip here too.
So if a agent investor had a deal to present to you, what's the best way to present a deal to you? To your company?
I always like the phone call. I know a lot of people, of course, send me an email with all the details that you have, so I can, while we're on the phone, we can look at it. I love the phone call because it just gives me an opportunity to run the deal while I'm on the phone with the agent. What I like to do is, when I receive a deal on the email, what I like to do is call the agent first thing, so I can find out anything that they might have missed on the email, or the backstory, or when they need to close. I like to just jump on the phone with the agent and then run the deal with the agent while I'm on the phone, so that I can kind of go back and forth. They might know something about the area that I'm missing, and I always like to. We're not perfect. We've been wrong multiple times.
You're not perfect?
So I like to run the deals with the agents on the phone, so sometimes they provide very valuable aspects about the property that we might miss on the computer. But the best way, it's always email Isaias at griffin-residential.com, or send the text to my phone number 832-815-4346.
Whoa. Let me put that in the show notes real quick. So 832.
832-815-4346.
I know I have that somewhere else, but just I'm a little slow here today. Let me get this into the text, and then we'll be able to share with everybody if they have questions. And so you are able to, an individual agent or wholesaler, you're fine with them giving you a call and asking you, hey, I have this deal. Will you take a look at it? You're fine with that?
100%. Yeah. Give me a call anytime. I'm I'm always available. Don't call me at 12 a.m., of course, but if it's during regular business hours, even on the weekends, I'll always answer my phone. If I can run the deal right then because I'm driving and I'm somewhere else, I'll still try to get back to you as quick as possible.
Well,
And
then
I
call
also
you.
have Kelly, one of the owners, who, if I'm not available, I'll pass it on to him, and he'll run the numbers for me too.
If you're lucky, you get Kelly instead of Isaias. Actually, Kelly's pretty sharp. So
Yeah, Kelly's sharp too. Yeah, he's
just
one of the
kidding.
owners, so he'll and everything that goes to me, I always run it by him too. So we're always working together on these deals.
Got it. Okay, so we had that question from Janika. There you go. And then, can you provide an email address?
Yeah, my email is Isaias, ISAIAS. That's my name, at griffin-residential.com.
There you go. And so, if I was faster, I'd have it already ready to go. But I'm the producer of this program, so I'm a little bit slow. I'm going to put that on the
You're
chat
the
box.
producer and the host, so that's a little harder.
I know. I should get paid double, right?
Right.
So let me go back and update this with this. But Janika, that's a great question. I should have had that ready to go. But there you go. We just update it. So there it is, Isaias at griffin-residential.com. And I know that's a good email because I email him there and send him deals. And the other thing I would say to those of you who are watching who may not be experienced agents or have done this deal before, reach out to me. I'd be glad to send you that form because I think, let me ask you, Isaiah, if I send you a property and have all the information on it, and I have a whole series of pictures that gives you a really good description of it, how much more accurate can your quote be than if I just give you some sketchy details?
We get pretty accurate. We rarely will give you a number and then go back and reduce it dramatically unless you just don't give me any information at all.
Mm-hmm.
But if you give me the right information, and what we're usually looking for is, give me an address. If you have pictures, send me the pictures, and then just send me any relevant details about the property, whether it has a tenant in it, if it's gonna get delivered vacant, when the close of escrow is. Let me know if there is any major issues with the property, like it has foundation issues, it needs a roof, or and then also let me know if what the bedroom and bathroom count is, because a lot of times what's on title is not the same as what's on the property. So sometimes we get a South LA fixer that's a 2-1 on title, 1,300 square foot, but it actually lives as a 3-2. So give me those details because that matters a lot when we're valuing these properties. And we get pretty accurate. If you send me all those details, we'll get pretty accurate and we'll tell you exactly how much we need to pay. We always like to see the properties first before actually committing and writing an offer on it and going non-contingent. But after we see it, we're non-contingent, all cash. We'll do a quick close. And we never go back and ask for reductions, ask for credits, or even back out of a deal. I've never backed out of any deals. So we if you send me the right information, we'll get pretty accurate. If we can go see the property, and we'll also send sight unseen offers if that's what the seller needs. If it's a property that's occupied that we can get in because the tenant is being difficult, and all they can get is a sight unseen offer, we'll still do it. But our number, of course, is going to have to be a lot lower because we're hedging against any potential risk that we don't know about the property.
So a question that I know you're going to hate when I ask this, but part of our job here is to educate. And I think that that new investors and people getting into wholesaling don't really understand the work involved in what it takes to be successful. Is how many properties do you look at before you buy one? When I used to ask, now you're kind of what I call an institutional investor, right? You're a company, and you're not just some guy. You're an organization. But when I talk to just a guy who buys property, it used to be they would tell me they look at 100 deals for every one they buy, and in the last year or two, they would say, "Wow, it's gotten a lot tougher." Many quit, and the ones still at it will say it's like 150 or 200 for every one they buy. I know that, they don't like to talk about it, but Zillow's iBuyer program and Open Door and OfferPads, their numbers are like 150 to 200 for every property they buy as well. So I don't want to discourage anybody because, a lot of the deals they get submitted are junk. Are you able to share with me is that proprietary? Are you able to share how many deals you have to look at before you find one, or give me a general direction for a new investor?
Right. I'll give you a general answer because I don't have the exact data with me, to be honest with you. But I mean, we're buying right now. We're buying 5 properties a month, and I would say we get a deal out of every 20 offers that we submit. To submit 20 offers, we have to look at like 50 properties.
50
So
properties for 20 offers.
yeah.
And others you
So
buy
I don't.
five.
Yeah, for us the number is not too high. It's not like
No.
a hundred, but also we know what we're looking at, and we're able to quickly uh, throw deals to the trash and not even spend any time on it because we know they're not going to be worth our time. So we're very selective at the deals that we're actually looking at, and we look through hundreds of deals on the MLS, of course. But the ones that are we really put in the time and analyze are deals that we're pretty sure are going to work, or we're going to be pretty close from making it work. And then if the numbers are somewhat close, we actually send a project manager out there. They walk the property, and then we submit the offer. We don't get every offer accepted, of course, but I would say it's like a 1 out of 10 offers you get accepted, or 1 out of 15. It's pretty close to that. And also the offers that we usually get accepted are deals that are priced right when they're off when they send us a deal like 100 200K higher than what we can pay. We usually don't get those deals, and there's other investors that will buy it, and that's fine, but we don't usually get those deals.
And part of you're getting deals kind of presented to you through a couple key sources. That's why your numbers are a little better than the average investor. So I just want to caution anybody who's an investor, until you develop the reputation in the systems, you're going to look at 100 deals or more before you find one. If you look at 10 and don't find one you want to buy, don't give up. That's the process you have to go on. So you've been around a while now. You've seen brand new investors who stuck at it are now doing well. You've seen realtors who are brand new who stuck it out and they're doing well. You've seen other brand new realtors who got discouraged and quit. What do you think the difference is between those that you've worked with that stuck through it and those that didn't make it for whatever reason?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I probably have a few answers for that, because I think it's a little different for everyone. But knowing why you're doing what you're doing, having a reason to wake up every morning and go out there and hustle and find deals, it's probably number one for me. But also with that, which is it's part of my first answer, but also having the mindset of hustling and not giving up when things get tough, because a lot of people what they'll do is they'll buy a course and they'll say that it's very easy to be an investor, so all you have to do is go on the MLS, find a deal, make a couple of phone calls, and you'll get a deal and you'll make 100K in your first flip
Yeah.
your deal. And when they get in the industry and they realize that it's actually very tough, they'll give up. So having that mindset of knowing that it's going to be hard, but also being willing to push through that hardship is what most investors probably don't end up ever doing, right? But that's what I think sets apart the successful investors from the ones that give up. And also having the right connections. I love networking. I love meeting new people and being of value. When you're trying to rip off sellers and not do a good business practice, it's karma. It comes back to you. So
Right.
we like to be out there and help other people, and we know that in return we'll get a return eventually. But that's we're just here in the industry to do good. We're not trying to do any bad in the industry. So we get that back, and I think we've been able to be very successful because of that.
So you're in Corona. When you say networking, do you go to any networking events in particular, or you just mean in general by phone calling and keeping good Rolodex?
I actually do a lot of phone calls to agents. I don't. I used to go to a lot of networking events. I rarely go to any. I haven't been in a networking event in a while, because there's very few good ones out there. There's a lot of networking events that end up wasting your time and you don't end up getting any value out of it. But what I like doing a lot is I like finding deals on the market that an agent have listed or an agent already listed and I already closed. And I like finding those agents that are actually doing business out there and calling them, letting them know who we are, and then just keeping in touch with them on a consistent basis, following up, making sure that the next time they have something, I'm still on their radar and they hopefully send it to us. But that's kind of one of the main ways I network, just randomly calling agents that I know are doing business out there. Like kind of what I did with you, Bill. I saw that you had a listing on the MLS, and from there we developed that relationship, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think you approached me in a way that was professional. I get approached every day by investors, and most of them they way overstate who they are, and they're way too aggressive.
Hmm.
And you really, from the beginning, shared a little bit of information with me, and which gave me a sense that you're legitimate. And we had a nice discussion, and we found some common areas to work on, and common areas we can't work on, but you're doing well with that. I see, and you gave me some good information, and so that's the beginning of a relationship, is kind of a give and take. So definitely, it was just a reach out. And you're right. In that time that you can go to a networking event, you can talk to 10 people, and you're more likely to find somebody. If you're targeting the right people, you're more likely to find somebody to work with. So you're right on, I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, and just being honest, right? When you're talking with agents, don't just, if you're a new investor, don't go and say that you've done 10,000 deals or you have 10 deals
Don't,
under your belt, because
don't.
you can tell. If you're an experienced agent, you can tell
Yeah,
pretty quick that you're not telling the truth, and it goes a long way being honest. If you're just like, hey, this is going to be my first flip, I'm looking to buy in your listing, let's see how we can make this thing work. I'm going to go take a look at it, but I promise I'm going to give you a good offer. I'm already pre-approved. I'm going to use a hard money loan. I'm excited about this flip, and just be honest, right? Because it
right,
goes a very long way, and it, the best offer doesn't always get accepted. A lot of agents just work with the clients that they know are going to perform.
right.
So if you give that agent a sense that you're going to be the one that's going to perform, even if you're not the highest and best offer, they have a very good chance of working with you.
100%. I know if you call me up front, I can figure out who you are through public records pretty fast. That's how I figure out when I talk to you right away. I figured who you guys were. You're worth talking to. You're worth showing respect to.
Right.
But I get phone calls from people tell me they do 5 to 25 deals a month. I want to say, well, which is it? Those are two different worlds. 5 deals a month is a really good business. 20 deals a month is like a national production line company.
Yeah.
Those are two. Which one is it? And I asked them to give me a couple examples of what they've done. On the flip side, when somebody calls and shows me a couple they've done, I look at that and say, wow, they're being honest with what they've done, and it doesn't take any if you're honest and you call at the right time and such. Looks like we have a mutual friend, Elaine Pastor says, "Hi Isaiah, it's nice to see you, and thanks for great information." Elaine, thanks for being on the call and supporting us. Appreciate the show.
Oh yeah, I've spoke to Elaine a few times.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so what other questions do I have for you? So, how long have you been in the business? Where did you start?
Yeah, actually, I got into the business in 2019, and I actually started as a wholesaler. That's how I got started in real estate. I was working for a nationwide company wholesaling. I got my real estate license, and I started getting deals. I started working with a lot of investors, learning from them directly on the deals that I was selling to them. And that's kind of how I got in the business. Then I started doing a few flips myself, and actually put to practice what I've learned from the investors that I was working with. And just by making a lot of good relationship with a lot of investors that I was working with, I was able to connect with Kelly, who was one of my main guys. And I connected with him. We've always been very honest with each other, and we've been very good friends since the beginning, even though we didn't do many deals together. But I always like calling Kelly and getting feedback on deals, and he's always been very valuable to me, until the point that he reached out to me and he said that there was an opportunity here at the company as an acquisitions manager because they needed some help with acquisitions. So he brought me over, and I've been here I actually haven't been here in the company for very long. I think this is my second month with Griffin Residential. But before here, I was working with another investor of mine, that I was helping them on acquisitions. I was a project manager there too. He was doing about 10 projects at a time.
Wow.
But he was doing more of a high-end business. He was mainly targeting those higher-end flips. So I was managing a lot of the projects that he was doing. I would also manage all the acquisitions. And he had me training a lot of people that we were getting in the door to do all the sales stuff for us too. So I started working for him. His name is Ryan Elmore. He's also a
Mm.
very well-known investor in the industry. And then after I worked with him, this opportunity opened up. It's a bigger company, more opportunity for growth. So I knew Kelly was a good guy. I know they're doing legit operations over here. So I decided to make the jump.
Well, look, I certainly appreciate having met you and you bringing me into Griffin as an investor. I appreciate adding you to EXP Realty as our express offers buyer. And so, just a reminder: if you're an EXP agent and you're looking for, you have a property off market, particularly if you have a tenant situation, they're the best to go to for that. But even other things, look at their buy box on the express offers or reach out to me if you need some help with that. If you're not with XP, want to talk about the XP offers program, I'd love to talk to you about joining us. And if you're not, you can still present the properties. We just need an XP agent to submit it for you. So Isaias, thank you so much for being on the call today. I know you have other things to go, and I kept it a little longer than I promised, so I apologize for that. But thanks for being on the call. Thanks for your support. And again, your contact information, we'll put that in the show notes as well. Thanks for being on. I appreciate your time.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for having me anytime. I hope we get to do this more often.
Fantastic. Thanks. I'm sure we will. And for
Awesome.
the rest of you, this is the official podcast for the LA County Real Estate Investors Association. We have our free event coming up in 2 days. Today's Tuesday. On Thursday, it's the second Thursday of the month here in Los Angeles. And the guest speaker this month is Seth Phelps. It's free. He does a great job explaining how to make money on ADUs, whether you want to find properties that can be an ADU can be added to, or if you have properties and want to add ADUs to them, and how to do that, how to cost them, how to finance them, how to understand what the rules are. He is an expert. He's been on this since ADUs really became a hot item here in LA. I think about 4 years ago. He jumped right on that, and that's been his niche and area of expertise ever since. So that's at the Iman Center on Motor Avenue, just south of the 10, I think north of National. Yeah, free parking if you get there early enough. And then there's a vendors fair. We'll have about 50 professionals like me. I'm one of them. Come up and say hi. I'm the official podcaster there. There's insurance agents. If you're looking for mentorship, there's coaches, there's investors and such. Love to see you there and participate. We do that every month on the second Thursday of the month. So this call we do every Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, 6 p.m. Eastern. We live stream it on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. I'm Bill Gross. You can find me on social media at Bill Gross Probate. If I could help you with anything we talked about today, you have a property you want to submit, you want to learn about express offers, you want to get the free form on how to present your offers to your investors better, reach out to me and we'd be glad to help you. As always, make today your best day ever. Thanks so much, everybody.